Everybody? Welcome to Signatures and Finishers podcast. I'm your host, D.S. Wall. And you see my partner, my tag team partner, Jamie Smalka. He thought I was going to mess up. And I thought I was going to mess up too.
Just a little
but
bit.
it's all part of the gimmick. So welcome to our show. You know, professional wrestling has been it's been that.
Do you want me to summarize that I haven't even watched Crown Jewel yet? I had a family reason. I'm going to be watching it here shortly, but yeah, I've kind of been hate watching recently because
Yeah.
it's not good. Well, WWE, AEW's actually been improving, but WWE it's been kind of a hate watch.
Yeah. Well, Crown Jewel was, according to the media who's been paying attention, being heard from them from ESPN, because ESPN got their ratings. Bleach Report, some people on YouTube and the wrestling community gave um, Crown Jewel in Perth a B plus. They said it was a very good show. One of the best shows was one of the best matches, I should say, was the John Cena AJ Styles match. But we'll get to that. But we're gonna start with some news because a lot of things happened this weekend in WWE, AEW. Not too much AEW, a lot of WWE. Let's start with the fans. The fans.
Not being at shows?
No, the fans
Oh,
voiced their displeasure on what was going on SmackDown with the writing. Let me tell everybody something. When you think that WWE's not listening, especially Triple H, who got like 1,500 burner phones, because he always got to keep up what's going on social media, especially on Twitter or X, as what they call it now. The fans have been displeasure about what's been going on SmackDown because you have your main champion on SmackDown and you have one of the other hottest wrestlers on SmackDown is Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. You got a loaded roster, top heavy roster down there on SmackDown, and creatively they're not doing anything with them. It's like SmackDown just went from a B plus show to like an incomplete show. So the fans had displeasure to the WWE about how much they dislike SmackDown and the creative. And because of that, Triple H made some changes to his writing staff. But I'm quite sure my tag team partner here would be happy that the road dog Jesse James was able to stay on top of the lead writer, head writer on SmackDown. Everybody else has been either moved around or been fired. So when they get back to the States, we will see a new writing team for SmackDown. It's been a long time coming because ever since the Bloodline feud storyline, I'm not talking about the ones we've seen over the last year. I'm talking about the Roman Reigns and the Usos and the Sami Zayn. Ever since that storyline had left, SmackDown really hadn't had any type of stories other than Cody finally finished his story. He didn't have anyone to wrestle. You brought back John Cena, you messed that up. So now they had to go in a different direction. This should happen a long time ago. But hey, when you stubborn guy, when you Triple H, you believe in your guys, you believe that your guys gonna get the job done, but they haven't. So new writer team coming in starting next week. We're gonna see what happens. What they're gonna do with this.
well, I think it's a combination of stuff. There was a couple different things that came out this week that Triple H hasn't been around a lot and that he's been prioritizing his political things or showing up at the White House, this and that. We clearly know he's been doing that. Now, is he missing shows? I don't know. I would probably think it's pretty safe to assume those reports don't just get started because somebody's bored. He probably missed a show. He might have missed a few shows. And you know what they say when the cat's away, the mice will play. And yeah, maybe people have been taking it off. I mean, clearly SmackDown sucks. Like you said, you've got all that talent. SmackDown sucks. It's garbage.
Yeah,
And don't get me started on the MFT thing. That was your best idea. Let's just paint them up and just bring them back and come on. That's a whole separate thing.
yeah,
But like,
yeah,
it's SmackDown's just bad.
yeah. It's
And
not. Oh,
And
no,
getting rid of all the other writers and keeping Road Dogg, I don't have a problem with Road Dogg, but usually when you make changes, you start at the top and work your way down. So I would say that there's probably not going to be a whole lot changing if Road Dogg is still there.
well, he probably figured Road Dogg was doing a good job. He got to,
Well, it's
he
his
got to keep his
boy.
best buddy. Of course, you can't fire your
His
buddy.
boy.
But,
I mean, I'd fire you if I had to.
I know you would. I know you would. And if I'm doing a bad job, I expect you to fire me. Friend, I don't care if friend, brother, co-worker, whatever. If I'm doing a bad job, I expect you to fire me because I'm not living up to the standard that you set.
I mean,
So,
SmackDown used to be such a better show. I mean, it was the better of the two shows for a long time, and a lot of that can be said because it had the Bloodline storyline where Raw never got that kind of treatment, but
mhm.
all the other storylines overall were just better on SmackDown for a long period of time, and now SmackDown is just complete trash.
Well, yeah, and plus, if you look at it, you know, during that time with SmackDown, it just wasn't the Bloodline storyline. It was even the secondary storylines they were hitting and was compelling storytelling. It's kind of like what Triple H said. He said wrestling is a love story. It is, but the love story wasn't working. We were seeing the same story every week on
Well,
SmackDown.
part of the problem that won't get talked about is they're going to make sure that Netflix is happy. So the best of the best is still going to go to Raw because they have a very vested financial interest in keeping Netflix happy. USA, they've had that partnership with USA for what, since 91? USA knows what to expect. They don't have to put their effort into it. USA knows what the numbers should be, what they're kind of trending for. So they can basically put all their effort into Netflix and Raw and making sure that that's the top tier show. As long as they're doing just good enough to keep USA happy, that's it. And
Well,
I
see,
think
I'm
that
glad.
that goes a long way of what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that because I think it was last week's SmackDown. Their viewership was at 1.38. No, not last week, but they always average a 1.38 viewership
Hmm.
million.
Yeah.
It dropped down to 1.030. Now you right about the relationship with USA because I remember back a few years back when Roman was a double champion. USA made it known they want a champion on their show because if you're gonna get Roman a double champion, he's not coming on to Raw. What's Why are the fans gonna tune in? Who are what the wrestlers gonna fight for?
Hmm.
So my thing is, you got Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. And before I go into anything else, your top champions on SmackDown, not on Netflix. That's amazing. I don't know how the W got away with that, but your
I mean, he
top
just doesn't show
champ,
up half the time, but
right?
there's
But
that.
your top champion in the company is on USA, not on Netflix. It's just amazing how they get away with that. But you have Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, NFTs. Who else is on? Tiffany Stratton. I can go on all day. And you're writing these stories that don't make sense or complement the story they're trying to tell in the ring. Your top champion has nothing to do. We've been waiting on Randy versus Cody, and it seems like they push it back and they give him Drew McIntyre. They give him I don't know how long he was fighting the bloodline. I don't know how many times he fought Solo Sikoa, like 10 times, and he won
Something like
all
that,
those
yeah.
times. It's like how you call it, lazy writing, lazy booking. But it doesn't help where your chief content operator is not at the show. It doesn't help when he's not there, allegedly.
I mean, if he is there, that just makes it that much worse that this is happening while he's there. So let's just hope he's not there, and that's why this has been happening. Because if he's there and it's happening, just
Yeah,
let him
that's bad.
go.
Yeah, that's
Just
bad.
bring back the fire Triple H chance and everything else. Like Vince Russo. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you take that with a grain of salt whenever you hear the name. But he's made some pretty valid points that they're probably just waiting for him to have a colossal screw up to throw Brian Gerwitz in charge. Brian Gerwitz, former head writer, The Rock's
Yeah.
best bud, The Rock's part of the board. They're probably just waiting for one major screw up. And another Vince Russo point: Triple H takes every opportunity to put himself at the center of attention. I've always looked at it as if I was a wrestler, if I was a marquee guy like a Stone Cold or something like that, yeah, if they were going to pay me a bunch of money, obviously you come out, you do something. But like bringing the Rock back, if you're Triple H, why would you bring the Rock back? If the Rock says, "Oh, I want to wrestle," I don't care what you want. Who cares? Go away.
Well,
But I mean, now he's on the board. It's a little bit different. But before he was on the board, if the Rock comes back and says, "Hey, I want to get in the ring," okay, I can do this for you. But you put him in an extended program where, and then like getting involved with the John Cena thing. Oh yeah, guys, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And the guy that's basically been the heart and soul of your company, you derail that entire run. Like you get too involved with bringing these legends back and doing these things that they're not helping anybody. You got to constantly be developing new talent because you never know when somebody's going to go down with an injury. When Cody might decide, hey, I want to go make a movie. When Roman might decide, hey, I want to go make a movie. You need to have people in a rotation that can step into that limelight and become the next main guy. Every time you bring an old person back, you're taking time away from somebody that could do it. That's why my disgust of Roman Reigns isn't because of Roman Reigns. It's because of how he was so obnoxiously pushed for years, being the double champion. You had a show that nobody could fight for a belt, and you're supposed to be developing talent and developing these people, and they don't have anything to fight for. Nobody wants to be the United States champion because nobody cares about it. It's a WCW belt. At the end of the day, nobody cares because it's a WCW title. If you're not the Intercontinental Champion or the WWE Champion, it doesn't matter. That's the big thing in the room is putting a belt on somebody doesn't matter. It's like giving somebody the European Championship back in the 90s. Cool, I'm D'Lo Brown. Nobody wants to be D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown doesn't want to be D'Lo Brown. But it's like Santos Escobar. You convinced him to come back on some sort of creative. What'd you promise him? An IC run? You're not going to give him a world title run. So
yeah, we're gonna touch on Escobar in a few minutes here. To me, because I'm gonna go back to what you said about who was it? The Rock's writer Brian
Brian Gerwitz.
Gervitz. Nobody's never going to acknowledge that the rivalry between The Rock and Triple H.
No, no.
It just not. It just wasn't in the ring. We talk about outside of the wrestling ring. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
never going to acknowledge it or talk about it because we know there is a beef there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. No one say they might have been friends 10, 15, or even probably up to about 2 years ago. They might have been close, but nobody's never going to acknowledge that their rivalry that they have, especially now that The Rock is on the board of TKO and the relationship he has with Ari Emanuel. And we all know that, like you said, one big mess up by Triple H, and you know The Rock's gonna come swoop in. That's why I believe The Rock stayed away from WrestleMania and did what he did because he
Mm-hmm.
intentionally to screw Triple H. Intentionally to screw.
WrestleMania wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
It was
It
not
wasn't.
good.
It wasn't. And we already know. I don't care no one say, and The Rock said himself, he controlled his schedule. So we already know
Mm-hmm.
he can move things around. It the
When
movie
you're the executive producer of your own movies, you can control what's going on.
right. You can control
Like,
what days gonna get shoot
mm-hmm.
or what day you want to postpone and all this whole 9 yards. Okay. So I don't want to hear about his, well, I got movie commitments. Now, if we talking about the movie that he's doing now that he's not executive producer of, that's one thing. But he still has pull. Because the movie ain't gonna get shot without him. The problem that I have with this is that if you know that the Rock is lurking down your shoulder and he's waiting for you to screw up so you bring his people in, I would think I want to bring my best work in. If I'm Triple H, I won't not trust my relationship with Ario because knowing that him and the Rock and Nick Khan are buddies, real tight. So if I'm Triple H, I ought to be doing my best work. I'm not doing all this late. I ain't gonna call. I don't want to call it lazy booking, but I'm gonna call it is. There's no way in the world that I'm gonna leave. I'm have SmackDown looking way it's been looking, especially when my top champion is on SmackDown and part of the D Top Hill on SmackDown.
Well, and that goes back to let's hope he has been absent. Let's hope those reports are real that he's spending too much time trying to follow around Trump and getting on TV at the White House. Let's hope that is real because if it's not and he is at these shows and they're that bad, then he does need to go because SmackDown is borderline unwatchable.
It was, and that's like a fall from grace. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
once upon a time, uh, I ain't gonna say Raw was fall from grace, but Raw was still watchable, and SmackDown were just killing it.
Well, SmackDown also had a new TV deal at the time with Fox and trying to cozy up because Fox was the big player at the time, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff gets factored into all this stuff. And USA is always just going to be there. WWE looks at them as this is our consistent. When we don't have a place, guess what? When CW decides, hey, we don't want NXT anymore because the ratings aren't going to improve, they're not good enough for what we want anymore. You know who's going to be like, hey, we're ready for NXT, bring it over? USA.
Yeah, and along those lines, the WWE, I mean Triple H, they were vastly disappointed on how WrestlePalooza was taken by the fans.
It
So they,
sucked.
yeah, right. So that also contribute to the changes that they had to make. And to me, it's kind of bad when you make these changes. You make these changes based on the displeasure of the fans, but yet you don't see your own work. You look at it like, damn, I kind of screwed this up.
Well, it's just like, at any job, when there's a problem, what do? They fire all the grunt employees that don't have any say over it or anything like that. Well, they can't fire the talent unless the talent does something to hurt somebody, screws something up royally, hits a fan, does something like that. You can't be like, oh, you guys wrestled a crap match, so you're fired. No, they're going to take it out on the writers. They're going to take it out on the producers. They're going to do all that kind of stuff. They're going to blame everybody except for the people at the top that okay everything to happen. Those are the people that should be, no, that story sucks. Go back and come up with something different. Now, if it's, hey, like a couple weeks ago, the Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, Jade thing where somebody misses a cue, throws a whole monkey wrench into it, things like that are going to happen once in a while. But when it's just bad stories coming out, the head guy at the top, that's whose head has to roll.
Yeah.
Because you're the one ultimately saying, this is okay. Let's do this. If the guy comes up with a bad idea and you okay it, you don't get to go back to that guy and say, you came up with a bad idea. This is your fault. No, it's your fault for approving it.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me.
But Road Dogg's still in play. Don't you worry. SmackDown is on the way to improvement. Bullet train to the top.
Yep. Next thing you know, Rodo might get fired. They're gonna bring in Billy Gunn. Oh wait a minute, he's in
I mean,
AEW. My bad.
he's still actively wrestling.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how much longer
And
those steroids are going to hold out for him at 60 some years old, but
yeah, it's so far so good. So before we get to that next news of the day, I just want to say this though. If I'm, if somehow, some way Triple H does mess up and he gets fired, and The Rock and his writer take over, let me let you guys in on a little something. It's not going to get better because all you're going to see is The Rock pushing his family. I'm just,
mm-hmm. Well,
just
that and I think Triple H knows he's out the door. That's why they. When have they ever announced somebody for the Hall of Fame that soon?
never.
They usually don't do Hall of Fame announcements until like Royal Rumble at the earliest. I think he knows he's out the door one way or another. That's why they're, oh, we've already announced it. We can't go back on it now. So Stephanie's a lock. I got myself in there before they fired me, so that's a lock. Like, I think he kind of knows that the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. If that's true, then the next thing we're going to hear is Triple H going to be heading to AEW. Don't start that rumor. I'm not starting that rumor. I'm not going to do that.
I don't think, even on his best behavior and everything, I don't think Tony Khan would ever take Triple H. I think he'd take Shane before he'd take Triple H.
Maybe. You alluded to it earlier. Santos Escobar has re-signed with the WWE. Contracts Don't know, but usually a contract at WWE anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That's
I was
how
gonna
they
say
do
it's
business.
probably at least 3 years.
And along those lines, Kofi Kingston, it came out that he signed his WWE deal, a 5 year deal early.
Yay.
You see how the excitement. And Xavier Woods
Xavier Woods.
earlier this year,
Yay.
he signed his WWE deal, 5 year deal.
More New Day. That's what everybody wants to see.
And also Big E came out and said, he is not going to return to the ring. He said he had a nice career. He's happy. Even though he is recovered from his neck surgery, he just want to live a normal life. So
You
big
can
props.
watch when he does the pre-shows or post-shows, he doesn't turn his head. So anybody that thought that he was going to come back and wrestle, anytime he turns, he uses the whole upper body. So there was no way he was coming back for that.
Nah, nah.
So I don't blame him at all. I His injury was far more severe than anything that happened to Edge or even Steve Austin or
Yeah,
anything. So there's no way I would be coming back. And like when you watch him do like the pre-shows, like I was just saying, he twists in his chair or he uses his whole upper body to look left and right. There's
yeah,
no gentle turn of the neck or anything. So there's no coming back.
yeah. I mean, Big E, he is right. He had a nice career. He had a nice run with the title.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it was cut short, but he had a nice career. He accomplished a lot, and he carved out a new path by doing the pre-show for pay-per-views. And look, man, this got to wish him all the best. The guy eventually is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
As long as he doesn't do anything to get himself fired, he's got a lifetime job.
Yeah, yeah,
So
100%, 100%. And we also look at it, part of the main reason why the New Day is, I don't want to say still, but not the same, is because Big E's not there. So they're missing that energetic. They're missing that funny guy. They're missing that powerhouse guy. So big props to Big E for calling it a career. Should be in the Hall of Fame soon. Now with the Escobar, we don't know what was promised to him. Hey, he got a mafia name, my guy.
he
Escobar.
does.
Yeah.
He does.
Santos got a mafia name. We don't know what was promised to him. Because early on this week, it was reports that he won't be returning to WWE because he turned down their contract, not because of money, because of creative differences. If you pay attention to Santo Escobar, he was a big hit down in NXT. And was he an NXT champion?
He was a
You,
U.S.
the North
champion.
American champion, I think.
Yeah, North America.
Yeah,
That's North American.
yeah. And he was a big deal down in NXT. When he moved to the main roster, the only biggest feud he had was when he turned on Rey Mysterio Jr. And they didn't do anything with him. I mean, we talking about a guy who's one of the top stars of NXT, the guys that Triple H, Shawn Michaels rave about as probably one of the next top superstars in the WWE. Not Mexican superstar, but one of the top superstars. And they didn't use him. You broke up his faction, and then no, I'm
They're
sorry.
down in AAA. So
Right, right. Hold on, wait a minute. You didn't break up his faction. You took his faction and made it to LWO. I'm quite sure he was thrilled with that. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be, but okay, it is what it is. And you put him with Rey Mysterio. Okay, cool. You would think that'll go somewhere. It didn't go anywhere. And then he went from there to not being seen on TV. It was like this guy was getting the Britt Baker, the Warlow treatment, where it's nothing wrong with you. We're just gonna have you sitting in catering because we got nothing for you. And this guy is way too talented to be sitting in catering and have nothing to do for him. So
I like
he turned
Santos a lot. I was actually very, very excited when I read that he wasn't signing. I was like, oh, he's going to AEW. They're going to do something with him because he is that good. And AEW could use a little bit of an injection of luchador wrestling after losing Penta and Ray Phoenix. Like, I don't care what anybody says, that hurts because those two are incredible.
yeah,
So getting like a Santos would have been a huge pickup for them.
yeah.
I was actually kind of sad when I read that he had went back to WWE.
I bet you were. You know,
Well, it's
Santos Escobar got the Miles Garrett treatment where they gave him a lot of money and they made some accommodation or some promises to him, just like the Cleveland Browns did to Myles Garrett. We don't know what those promises are. We don't know what they said they was going to do for him. But
Hmm.
wherever they said, they got him to resign back.
I mean, if we see Santos in like an open challenge next week for Sami Zayn's title, then you'll know what was promised to him. I wouldn't complain if that happened. It would be an easy way. The open challenge makes a very easy way to start a storyline.
Yes.
I'm honestly surprised that they don't do it more because it is an easy way to start a feud if you wanted to. They love their tournaments in WWE. That's one of the things that irritates me is like every time you turn around, it seems that they're always doing a new tournament for something. Elimination Chamber tournament, King of the Ring tournament. Somebody has to vacate a title, new tournament for that for the number one contender or something. It's always a tournament, but the open challenge to me, it always gives that air of surprise. You could throw in a couple BS matches. It was a great way to bring Shinsuke back last night, which another person that they haven't done anything with. Like, I don't know if people haven't seen his stuff from Japan. The dude is incredible. And how they don't do more with him here. And it comes down to they have too much top tier talent and they don't want to get rid of it. And I think that's part of what WWE offering him a bigger contract. They had a lot of releases this week. And a lot of people you're noticing more and more people aren't renewing contracts. Are they big names necessarily? No. But the big names are going to start to happen. Their contracts just aren't up right now. But you're seeing like people on the WWE ID contracts aren't re-signing because the deals aren't good. People in NXT aren't re-signing. Some people are getting released. They have too many people, and I do think that they hoard people just to keep them from going to other promotions too.
Yeah, I think that's going on all around a lot of these promotions, especially AEW and WWE, because
Uh-huh.
we don't. Because, prime example, we see Penta and Ray Phoenix come to the WWE, and the way they got presented on live TV, Raw and SmackDown, the way they got presented, kind of makes you wondering like, why the AEW never did this for them. WWE made these guys into huge stars on day one. When both guys got there, their presentation felt like a big deal, whereas in AEW it didn't feel like a big deal. It was like, whoop, here go the Lucha Brothers.
Well, the benefit of going to WWE is they had time to build up something at least in AEW, where when they came to AEW, they weren't really, unless you followed Luchador and Lucha Underground and things like that, they weren't super big stars. They became bigger stars in AEW, and then WWE just had to give that big push. And even out of the two, Rey Phoenix hasn't got near the push that Penta has.
But now
And
because we
you could
still
make a
looking for him.
case, yeah, you could make the case that Ray is more talented than Penta.
Ray is more talented than Penta.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Is
a
you can make a
fact.
case for it. I mean, I'm not going to fight either way because I like watching them both. But you've got Ray stuck. Obviously the whole Andrade thing and all that. But now he's paired up with who did I see him paired up with? It was like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know, but I hate the fact that you pairing this guy in a tag team where
If
he's the
he's in
one
a
who
tag team,
should
he needs to
be.
be with Penta. If
Yeah,
he's
that's the
in
only
one.
one that makes sense. Or he should be fighting Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. And we're keep forgetting Ray Phoenix was a world champion in AAA once
Hmm.
upon a time. So
Hmm.
this guy can carry a company. So I mean, like pairing him in another tag team with another guy who probably I don't know who's his tag team partner now, but it just don't make no sense. See, that's what it comes back to. Why do you have one of your best singles wrestlers in a tag team where he can be a legitimate threat to Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn for the world champion and for the United States Championship?
Javon Evans, that's who it was. He was with Javon
Right.
Evans
Okay.
a couple weeks ago, which I like Javon Evans too, but he's not at
He's
that
down in
level yet.
NXT.
Yeah, he's not at that level of being on SmackDown
Yeah.
regularly. Um, I just don't think Triple H knows what to do with luchador wrestlers. I think that's a big part of it.
I don't think Road Dogg doesn't know what to do.
I push everything uphill. So if
Yeah.
it's Road Dogg not bringing him the ideas, at the same time, hey, we just paid this guy a lot of money to come over here. Do something with him. You guys push Jade Cargill down everybody's throats because you're paying her a lot of money. Ray can perform. It's like Dragon Lee. What's Dragon Lee doing? Nothing.
Tag team with AJ Styles, which I'm not complaining about. But yeah, but when he came to the WWE, what did they say? This is good guy gonna be the top luchador.
Mm-hmm.
Top
That's what I'm saying.
luchador.
You've got three of the best luchadors in the entire world in your company doing nothing. I mean, Penta's at least getting a singles run, and he's had some pretty high profile matches. Still doesn't have a belt. Don't know how you haven't put anything on him yet. I mean, there's a time when you're so hot with the crowd, you just got to make it happen.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
he
we
and
saw that even with Jey Uso. As terrible as he is, he's got a hype intro. People love it. Put the belt on him. You see that he can't perform in the ring. Take it off of him, but at least he got something. How does Penta not have an IC belt yet?
I don't know. And not only that, he is still white hot.
Oh yeah,
When you got wrestlers doing his walk in the ring while he's in there, that should tell you everything you need to know how hot Penta is. And Ray Phoenix was hot until you put him in a tag team. So what do you do? I mean, what do you do? You got two brothers who are white, who are one still white hot, one is his hotness is phasing. It's
if
like
you were
it's
to put
coming down.
him if you were to put him in the US title match with Sami Zayn this coming SmackDown and he wins, all of that comes right back.
Yeah.
All of that, the white hot, everything, the fans would be all over him. And give him somebody that he can actually be in a match with that can take the speed. That's the biggest thing. Somebody like Penta operates a little bit slower than Ray Phoenix because Penta does a little bit more of a power move set than Ray Phoenix does. Ray Phoenix needs somebody that can go in the ring. He needs to wrestle like a Kofi, but Kofi doesn't have the appeal that he once had. He's not as popular with the crowd as he once was, but Kofi can work. Kofi can keep up. That's what Ray Phoenix needs. He needs somebody that can bounce around the ring, that they can trade off the big, high flying moves and things like that. Penta gets away with it because he's got the Penta driver and some of the more, I don't want to say powerhouse brawler moves, but he does have some more slam type moves than what Ray Phoenix does. And that's where Ray Phoenix, you just need to remind the fans that he can do this. Tag team wrestling, unless you're going to be in a match with a bunch of high flyers, isn't really conducive to showing off somebody's talent.
Right. And the tag team magic that Penta and Ray Phoenix have, eventually we're going to see it. But right now, both of these guys are good singles wrestlers. So let them work their magic. Let them show it. Let Ray show us his magic by put him in the ring with someone, like you said, that can keep up with him, but also be able to wrestle a style that matches what he can do.
Axiom, Nathan Frazier, either one of those two, especially Nathan Frazier. That dude's a bullet. Like they would put on a crazy good match.
Hey, to a certain degree, I could say Montez Ford.
Montez Ford would be good too, and he's over enough with the crowd. But you need to get him out of his crap tag team.
Man, it's a lot of crap stuff. So before we go on to the music, um, NXT Wesley was released by the WWE yesterday. It's unfortunate to see a young man get released. I kind of like Wesley because he was that guy in the back of the locker room was very annoying. And I think the last time I seen Wesley was that he was getting his butt kicked by Trick Williams. So we know Wesley gonna land on his feet, probably be in AEW, or he probably go on the indie scene again, build his name up, build his star up. But he'll be back. A lot of
Yeah,
these
I'm
guys,
surprised they let him go.
yeah, a lot of these guys, a lot of these guys who I have seen that they usually would take the indies by storm, build their name up, build their star up, and boom, they back in the major promotion. Or he'll go to AEW, and because hey, AEW, they like the style of wrestling that wrestling can do. So, and finally, we're gonna get to Jamie's favorite topic, the music of your favorite wrestlers. theme music, because if you've been paying attention over a year now, Def Rebel has been getting a lot of complaints about their music to these entrances. A lot of these wrestlers, a lot of them don't like it. So Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke, and the Profits, temporarily with the Street Profits, they think, all went back to their old music that they had in NXT because it was popular. The fans like it. They love it. They was not feeling their new music. This is just not a coincidence. This is something that they had requested a while back. But if you pay attention to what's going on at WWE and how these wrestlers feel about their music because they don't match their character, if you notice that they've been complaining for years about this, boom, here we go. It was just a matter of time.
What we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You can basically tell who's going to get pushed based on their music. You know, if we're talking about pure wrestling ability, which obviously being a pro wrestler and getting over and stuff, it's more about just being a good wrestler. There's plenty of great wrestlers that never went anywhere. Dean Malenko comes first of mind. But Jey Uso, is he one of the best wrestlers you're ever going to see? No. I wouldn't even put him in the top 1,000. But he has an intro song that gets everybody going right off the rip. So his intro song covers up for a lot of his inefficiencies because the fans are already bought in because he's got a hype soundtrack. Same thing with Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. They have either really hype music or very easily singable songs that instantly get the fans engaged. What does somebody like Drew McIntyre have? Bagpipes and a sword shinging from being unsheathed? Like, that's not going to get the crowd going. And Sheamus's music, very similar. Like, it's not going to get the crowd going. Bronson Reed, he's complained about his music multiple times. His music is super boring. But yeah, I mean, if you don't get the fans engaged immediately, you got nothing. I mean,
Yeah,
Jey Uso made a career. He's made an entire singles career off of his song because that's all he has going for him.
yeah, absolutely. Your theme song is the first thing that the fans recognize and hear. So if they're not feeling it, then the wrestler's not feeling it. And if the wrestler recognize the fans not feeling it, they're gonna want to change up. And we already know, like a lot of us fans, we get used to a certain music. So because we follow a lot of these wrestlers from NXT, and the NXT music was a banger. So why change when they get to the main roster?
I was thinking about this a couple days ago. You know what would be the ultimate thing for Bronson Reed?
What's that?
To steal the yeet from Jey Uso. Just start doing it. Just go into a feud with Jey Uso and steal the yeet. I think Bronson Reed could do so much more with it, especially with the tribal thief gimmick. Just take it from him.
So he's still that. So he won't be the tribal thief no year. He'll be the tribal yeet.
He's the tribal thief that stole the tribal yeet. But you call it what you want, but it just fits along with the same gimmick. He stole the shoes from Roman. He now steals the yeet from Jey, and I think Bronson would have enough fun with it that it would catch on like way crazy good. It just as good, if not better than it already is. And now you got an instant feud there. Let him get taken out by Bronson, so I don't have to see him for 6 months, and everybody wins, and I'm happy.
I'm quite sure you had this all planned out.
I actually thought about it a couple days ago, like I said.
Yeah, so you had.
I was like, this would work well.
Yeah.
Built in a nice feud, take you right into, if they do a day one this year, which I don't think they are, or, take it up to whatever first of the year kind of thing. Take out Jey for a while so you don't have to think about him. Blah, blah, blah. Builds up Bronson some more. You've got to win over Roman. You got to win over Jey. You've stole the yeet. And come on, a guy that big doing the yeet, you'd love it. The crowd would love it. And it would be hilarious. And it just plays right into the tribal thief thing.
You connected dots pretty good, my friend. Pretty darn good, right
I'm telling you. Send my resume over to the WWE. Say, fire Triple H. I got this. I got it. I could fix the whole show.
Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, as my friend over there is calculating his reign of terror and taking over the WWE one day, your favorite wrestler might be going back to their favorite music. So stay tuned, listen out for that. If you're a Drew McIntyre, Sheamus fan, then you already recognize that they went back to their music. So you probably went back to their old music. So stay tuned for more. So now let's get to the main topics right now because SmackDown was yesterday. Crowd jewel purpose today. We ain't gonna talk about all the matches because we don't have that much time. So we're gonna go over some of these matches. Like for example, you know how to get a group over, Jamie. You know how to get a group over?
Mm-hmm. I mean, all depends on what you're trying to get them over for, but there's a lot of different ways you can get over a group pretty easy.
No, that's true. That's true. That I will say that is right. So we went from watching a promo about Solo Sikoa saying that his family's not complete, something's missing, and until he finds that, everybody in the W locker room be alert, we're coming. I don't know, it's some of those words. And so he went from that until to he found his missing piece, which is Tamatonga. He made his return. He looks huge.
Yeah, like an undisclosed injury and you come up that much bigger, like
Yeah, yeah,
you're like
yeah.
almost twice the size of what you were.
Right. And it just wasn't that he returned. It's that when he returned, everybody, his brothers, they all had face paint. Now, if you watch New Japan, follow the Bullet Club, you know that some of the members there, Tamatanga and his bros, they have face paint. I think it was the Gorilla Destiny, something like
Yeah,
that.
something to that effect.
Yeah. And now it's in the WWE. So how you get these guys over? Well, let's bring their old gimmick back and have them wear face paint. And then we're gonna put JC also in face paint. And we're gonna make them look like badasses. And they don't need the face paint to look like badasses because they're already badasses. I mean,
I mean, yeah, it's a set of big dudes to begin with. The face paint, if anything, makes you take them less seriously.
I
Like when I
mean,
saw it last night, I was like, no, it worked in New Japan. Now you're trying too hard.
see, it worked in New Japan because it was a New Japan thing.
Hmm.
That's why they work.
Well, like I was telling you before the show, WWE does not have a good track record of taking things that other companies did well and bringing them into WWE. You had the easiest layup of all time with the NWO, and they still managed to screw that up.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to make a point here that these guys, I'm glad Tama Tonga's back. I'm glad the whole group's back together, and I hope they do something with them. So, what's their first thing they did? They're gonna be fielding the White Six, guys who also wear face paint and masks. And what do we see? We seen them all lined up, staring each other down. That was pretty cool. But I'm looking, I see Solo interacting with Nikki Cross, like they want to have a match with each other. And I'm looking like, where first thing my mind is, where's Uncle Howdy? Two, why is Nikki Cross out here like she gonna about to beat up the leader of the MFTs?
Because they ain't got nothing else for Nikki Cross to do.
Unless so gonna add a woman to his group, why are we having this right here?
If they were gonna add a woman to the group, you've had Tamina on your roster for years that ain't doing anything. You got Nia Jax sitting right there. How you've never put her in the bloodline still blows my
Well,
mind.
wait. First of all, Dwayne ain't going for that, okay? Dwayne ain't gonna let that happen.
Just saying. It's been sitting there the whole time. If they were going to put a woman in the group, they would have done it by now.
Of course, it makes sense, but they didn't do it.
But Nikki Cross, I feel bad for Nikki Cross. She hasn't done anything in years at this point now.
It's like it's like what y'all doing with her? I mean, y'all gave her this horrible gimmick, superhero gimmick, and y'all put a title on her, and then y'all took that away from her. You teamed her with Alexa Bliss, that worked for a short time, and y'all took that away. Now you're gonna put now she's the White Six. I hope she stays with the White Six. I like Nikki Cross. I like the White Six. Hope they keep them together. But ever since she's been with the White Six, how many matches has she has? Thank you. You answered the
I don't
question.
recall her actually ever wrestling as part of the Wyatt Six.
Neither have I. I've seen her interfere in some matches.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her in a one-on-one match in a very long time.
I can't recall her wrestling a match since she was doing the superhero gimmick, the Nikki Ash or whatever it was called back then.
Almost a superhero.
Almost a superhero, yeah. Um, yeah, I feel bad for her because you thought when Alexa Bliss was coming back that you have a natural, just built-in tag team right there. Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, good to go. Well, obviously they still have her dressing up like Wyatt and everything else, and she's doing her thing with Charlotte, but I feel bad for Nikki Cross. The Wyatt Six, they need to do something. I don't know if Bo Dallas is just injury prone or what it is, but it's like anytime he gets hurt, they just take the whole group off TV. That's not going to help anybody.
Well, not
Like
this
you,
time.
not this time. They're not doing it. I think they learned their lesson because they were off TV for how long back in December and all that stuff. Like you had them, they were just starting to do something, and then you took them off TV for months. It's like you're not going to build anything consistent with that. And not to take the easy way, but like you have instant fan reaction with the Wyatt Six because people are always going to associate them
With Bray Wyatt.
with Bray Wyatt. So you might as well use that as much as you possibly can and keep them on TV as much as you possibly can. And the guys can actually wrestle. Dexter Loomis doing like the whole kamikaze type thing is great. Joe Gacy kind of doing the slight kamikaze, slight powerhouse thing works. Eric Rowan just being the monster, it works. Like keep these guys on TV. I
Yeah.
don't know how they don't have them running through the entire roster. That would play more and probably build a better story, especially it's Halloween right now. Let the freaks come out. They should be running through the entire roster right now.
No. You are right because I kind of think that's how it's supposed to be. I mean, if it was Bray Wyatt, that's what it would have been. You know, I
Hmm.
got a dominant faction here. Nobody can stop us. I got a powerhouse and two lunatics and a crazy side chick. So it works.
I do think they need to add somebody else to the group if there is issues with like keeping Bo Dallas healthy or something. That they might need to bring somebody else in that's going to be a little more consistent. I just don't know who it would be right now.
Yes, you do. You
I
know
mean,
who it would be.
there's a couple different people
No,
it
no,
could
no.
be
You know who it
easily.
would be. You know who it would be.
Who?
But she's busy right now because she's a tag team wrestler
I
and
mean
she's a
that
tag team champion.
I wasn't counting her, but
But it makes sense.
she would. I mean, it makes more than enough sense. I mean, she's got the direct connection of working with Bray before he died. It would be the most obvious choice. It might happen once they wrap this. Maybe that's part of what she does when they do the whole split with Charlotte. Maybe she does get aligned with the Wyatt Six at that point, hopefully. If they don't, then she needs to stop doing the whole dressing up like it and giving people hope that she's going to go that route. Go back to your like white and gold outfits that you used to wear before all that.
Don't forget about Lily, the Lily doll.
I'm not a fan of the Lily doll.
Come on, man. It's for the kids.
That, and I mean, I don't know how much Bray Wyatt would even like the Wyatt Six right now because he was pretty clear. Even Bo Dallas had talked about. He was clear he didn't want the puppets becoming characters. He wanted them to just be the puppets.
Puppets, right. If Bray was alive and we had the
Wrestling would
White
be a
Six,
thousand times better.
their story, yes. Yes, it would be. Because we
I
all
mean,
know
wrestling in
how
general would just be better.
Yeah, yeah, and then we know how Bray is very protective of his creative and a lot of things he does. So the Y6 would be no different. And I kind of think that the Y6 would be different as far as he would have picked his guys.
Hmm.
I mean, look, I could tell you two offhand. It would be Alexa Bliss would have been one, and both Davs would have been the other because they wanted to work together. In fact, they
Well,
were.
I think, and if he had his choice, he would have brought Eric back for sure.
Yeah, Eric Rowan. Yeah, so that's one, two, three. That's three people he would have had in that group. So he would have the guys that work with him and that had that chemistry with him and guys that he trusts. And we all know that Bray creatively is a genius. So the storylines would have been way different than we're seeing right now on TV. If you tell Bray, look, you can do the supernatural thing, but we need to make it more realistic as far as we need these guys, need you, and be in the ring more often. You can do all that, but we need them be in the ring
He could
wrestling.
go back
Yeah,
if they wanted to keep it the supernatural but more realistic. I would just take him back to his backwater sermon preacher guy and
yeah,
just do something of a hybrid of that because that character was great and he took that from I almost said Waylon Jennings, Waylon Mercy back in the
hmm,
'90s. Waylon Mercy was actually really cool back in the day. If you guys actually remember him wrestling, he was actually pretty cool. He
yeah,
wasn't around a super long time, but he was
yeah,
very cool.
yeah. That was
Um,
one of those runs where you just kind of hated that it didn't go as far. And plus, I kind of think his gimmick and his character, it didn't work back then. It would be great now.
it didn't work, and it's one of those things. There have been multiple times in WWE where people have done their role too well. The
Hmm.
most obvious one of all is Muhammad Hassan, who I was a massive fan of. Dude did his job so good he got himself fired.
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
but Muhammad Hassan, like that dude had the look. He could play that character, and he could actually wrestle. Like he would have been a huge star, and he just nope. I'm gonna go be a principal now.
Yeah, and,
I mean,
and,
there
and
wasn't a lot of options back then. I mean, it was TNA or nothing, but
yeah, and same with Wayne the Mercy. I mean, it was a gimmick where nobody wasn't doing it, but he nailed it.
that
Like
was mid '90s, and like
he
you're
nailed it.
upsetting the Billy Grahams of the world and things like that. It was just a whole different time period back then. But Waylon Mercy was
Yeah,
cool.
he nailed it so good that Vince couldn't even change it.
Yeah,
Well, I can't do anything I want to do with it. You're fired.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was thought out about. So we got the NFTs going after the tag team championships from the Y6. And we also had the Street Profits. They came back with their new music. They lost, but we thinking that they're gonna stay together, hoping they're gonna stay together. Cody did his little promo on Seth Rollins, how he's 3-0, how he's gonna win. In other words, there wasn't too much going on SmackDown. There wasn't too much going on, and I'm not dissing it because before we even watched SmackDown, we were told changes are going to happen. So I'm gonna toss this SmackDown as this was the last SmackDown of some bad stuff.
But
Next week's SmackDown is what I'm gonna be paying attention to.
if you look at all the highlights, it was full of surprises. You know, Zelina Vega, she's with her husband now.
Yeah, I wondered did she get here in the Fireball?
I mean, either way, you know, they're gonna pair those two up. Is it gonna help Zelina Vega out? Not really, because
Well,
you can't have Aleister Black come out and black mass one of the female wrestlers. So,
well, yeah, but she also is not doing anything.
well, exactly. Like, what are you gonna do? You just gonna turn her into Scarlet, where she just comes down to the ring
And then
and
as her back don't need a mouthpiece.
exactly like you're just putting a husband and wife together. I get it. If they want to travel together, cool. But is this gonna help Zelina Vega in any way?
Nope.
I don't see how it's a
And
benefit. And Aleister Black doesn't need the help. Like
nah.
he's a pretty complete character overall, actually.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm very high on Damian Priest. He had a good run. He was champion. He was part of the main event scene. SmackDown was supposed to be the place where he get an opportunity to continue that Oh, that hot streak he was on continued that he had that momentum. And ever since he came on SmackDown, like Drew McIntyre, they're not using him. Now he had a feud with Drew McIntyre, which was pretty good.
Yeah, Drew should have won that one. They've had Drew lose way too many big time feuds
Yeah,
lately. It's garbage.
right. And now you got a feud with Aleister Black. I have Aleister Black is another top guy, but it's like it's not getting over with the fans.
Mm-mm.
Not in a way that they probably thought it will, but it's just that Damian Priest is it's kind of cold.
I've not been a big Damian Priest fan. I just I don't. There's nothing that I latch onto about him. Like I don't think he's boring. I think he's fine. I liked him better in the Judgment Day. I liked him
Yes.
better when he was paired up with the Terror Twins doing the whole thing with Rhea Ripley. Once you separated those two, both of them got off kilt, completely
Yeah, they
just
both
derailed.
suffered. They both
Yeah,
suffered.
they've
And it's
both been derailed big time.
yeah, and it's kind of amazing because Rhea Ripley is one of the top sellers in merch on the women's side, and she's the most popular female wrestler in the WWE. But let's put it like this: she's the most popular female wrestler in wrestling, and, and I think a lot of them, have bypassed the fact that when you broke up her and Damian Priest, she really has nothing to do. Same with Damian Priest.
Well, and I think part of that is they look at, oh, this person's selling merch, this person's doing that. They don't need this to get over. They don't need that to get over. We can just kind of take our time. I get it. You got thrown a curveball. Liv Morgan gets hurt. You tell me you couldn't drop her into anything else? The whole Kabuki Warriors thing of just basically being the catalyst for a different feud? Like, you're not even involved in that feud. You were just the catalyst to create another feud.
She's the fourth wheel.
Yeah. Like I, just,
But
I don't get how they could be so bad. Like, I get it. There's a lot of moving parts. That, Excel was created for a reason, right?
yeah,
Flow charts, things like that. Like, you've got a lot of moving pieces, a lot of wrestlers, people get hurt, this and that, but that's why you have flow charts. You're
but
telling me you haven't had anything for her to actually sink her teeth into since Liv Morgan got hurt? You just basically said, we'll throw her in some backstage skits and give her the random match to put her on TV once in a while. That's the best you can do.
yeah, and I also believe the simple fact that Bianca is hurt that they haven't picked up that feud. But it wouldn't even matter because both ladies one on Raw, one on SmackDown. But you can tell that if Bianca was healthy, one of them would have been moving to SmackDown or Raw to
Hmm.
continue this feud, tell that story. So it's kind of like you put her with Liv. We seen that story, but Liv is kind of like the only one she could feud with. You had a nice feud between her and Io, but they're too babyface. So you're really not going to make either one of them a heel. And
I don't know
then,
why Asuka's not just having the full blown feud with Rhea Ripley. That could have led into an EO feud, but you jumped right into EO and just left Rhea out of it completely. You had like the one match, and that was it.
yeah. And you was already telling that story on how Rhea never beaten Io, and you went away from that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's where we at. And we also had the Sami Zayn US title open challenge. And by the way, before you talk about that, they got to put Damian Priest in a meaningful feud after this one with Aleister Black. They do. They need to. But Sami Zayn had his open challenge yesterday.
Yeah, I mean that was the other big surprise. Shinsuke came back, which
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. Yeah, I don't. I've so many Japanese names. Shinsuke. I'm a big Shinsuke fan. Like, the dude can work, and he can put on really good matches. You gave him a super lackluster U.S. title run. That whole thing with trading off with LA Knight and all that was just bad. I don't know if those two just lack chemistry together, but watching those two in the ring together was not good
No,
at
it
all.
wasn't. You
That
know,
was like watching The Undertaker wrestle The Rock. Two great stars that have no chemistry whatsoever to ever be in a ring together.
and you know my favorite part of this whole match between Sami Zayn and Shinsuke. Nakamura. My
The
favorite thing the
MFT's
whole
coming
entire
up.
match was that he got his old theme music back. Now,
I mean, not gonna lie, there are times where I'm in the car that I actually tell Spotify to like play Rising Sun
yeah,
because it is that good. I
yeah,
love the violin myself. I don't know how to play it, but I love the sound of it. And Nakamura's theme song is good.
yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
it is good. I didn't even care about the match. I just love that he got his old theme music back, and the fans agree with me. By the way,
I remember when he
um,
came out in NXT with that dude playing it live. That was intense.
yeah, and this match we had Julia and Kiana James versus Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquera. Now, what shocked me though, Jamie, was that the chemistry between Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton when they was in the ring, that chemistry, it
Hmm.
was it,
It was good.
and we of course we already know about Julia and Stephanie because they worked together in NXT. Stephanie beat Julia, but here's my issue. I enjoyed the match, by the way, but here's my one issue. My issue with this: Julia didn't defend her women's United States title. Why we have her tag teaming with her manager, her mouthpiece? She should be defending her United States championship.
We talked about it on one of the recent shows. The thing has only been defended on a PLE once since the title came out. Like
It makes
I don't know. This goes back to the whole WWE is very subjective with their rules. Like, why is the title not being defended? There was a time where, oh, if the title's not defended every 30 days, you get stripped of it and this and that. Like, everything is situational. And, like, she's holding on to this belt, not defending it. I mean, Chelsea Green, even when Chelsea Green had it, she wasn't defending it all that much. It's been, what, 7 months, 6 months that the title's been around?
8 months, almost 8 months.
8 months? And it's been defended on a PLE once? Like,
And
uh,
and another thing, I'm tired of this concept of champion got tag team with another champion too. You know, I'm tired of seeing we see Stephanie and Tiffany, they're tag teaming on the night before they got to wrestle each other. I'm tired of seeing that. We've seen that too much. You know, if you want to get my view, if you want me to watch this match, how about let me watch Julia versus Tiffany? Because to me, Julia's a better wrestler. I want to see them two go at it, because maybe down the road they might wrestle each other. And have Stephanie be the referee, or have Stephanie be at ringside watching the match, or give me Julia versus Stephanie, vice
my
versa.
concern with Stephanie is that they are clearly going all in on the Stephanie Vaquer train,
Yeah,
and
100%.
it's going to be at the sacrifice of everybody else, and that is not going to help anybody long term. Like, she already has a built-in audience. She's already got the audience here from her time being in WWE. You don't need to throw everybody else to the wolves. It's like when Brock Lesnar came into WWE, you had to feed people to him because unless you were a collegiate wrestling fan, which let's be honest, nobody is, you didn't know who Brock Lesnar was. You just had to listen to the hype that WWE gave him to think, oh, he's this monster. So you had to feed people to him. Stephanie Vaquer is already a known commodity to wrestling fans. To the younger fans that don't watch New Japan, things like this, they're already going to buy into the hype because other people have the hype. So you don't need to feed Tiffany Stratton, who is still building, and other people to Stephanie to build a resume. She doesn't need that. She can lose and still be white hot. But they seem to just already be on the train of we're just going to sacrifice everybody to Stephanie, and it's going to get to a point where it's not going to matter. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it. If anything, Julia needs some love right now. You've given her a belt that she's not defending. Stephanie's already at the top of the food chain on her show. Julia, you've already thought, well, she needs a manager. So that's usually not a pretty good sign. And she's not defending a belt that she's had. So she probably could have used a win. Just saying. But what do I know?
I don't know. What do you know? I don't
I don't know.
know.
I
You
don't
know a
know.
lot more than everybody else right now. So that's what happened on SmackDown. I agree with you what you said. Now Julie didn't take the pin because I'm making her look strong. However, I would like to see her in some one-on-one matches. A legit contender for her title that will give her a nice push. Put her
And again,
involved in someone.
how do you get Kiana James promoted to the main roster on one show last year and she doesn't make an appearance for almost an entire year?
It had nothing for her.
That's what I'm
Whoopie
saying.
whoopie do.
So you let everybody forget about her because I had completely forgotten about her until she popped up on SmackDown.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
no,
watching the Raw when she got the call up. I remember watching it. And I think like the very next week she came out and did her little thing real quick and I'm gonna go to the top and then just gone for a year.
yeah. They were preparing her for this role. They were preparing her for this role.
Ay, ay, ay.
Now, Crown Jewel, we get into this because Crown Jewel was a success. While you've been talking, I've been reading a lot of reviews. Everybody gives it, a B plus, a passing grade. Nothing really bad about it. You know, Jamie has standards. I have standards too. And so far, we're gonna talk about this match, but we really don't need to because we already know it John Cena versus AJ Styles. You really don't need to watch this match to understand that it was a great match because we know the chemistry between AJ Styles and John Cena, and we already know that with John Cena wrestle AJ Styles bring the best out of John Cena. John Cena, especially right now on this run where John Cena was doing things in this ring. I was watching some clips while we were talking. John Cena looked like John Cena of 10 years ago when he wrestled AJ Styles. And it just like it kind of like blows your mind that this guy's retiring, but yet AJ Styles is bringing the best out of John Cena. And AJ Styles did confirm that he is retiring in 2026. There's no coming back. There's nothing
Yeah,
you can
he
offer him. This is it.
he's been clear the last 2 years. He's not wanting to wrestle into his 50s. When he turned 50, he was done. And he turns 50 next year.
Yeah, he is
So
done. He's not looking for no more money. He just wants to train the young talent and spend more time with his family.
I don't blame him. I mean, he's been wrestling for a long time. So,
Yes.
and he's had some pretty significant injuries in the last couple of years. As you get older, those take longer to come back from and they get more serious. So, he's had a very good career. He has a career that most people would hope to have. So, there's really nothing left for him to do. The I'm happy to watch it. I'm going to be watching that match. That's probably the only match I'm really excited about since I already know the outcome of the Stephanie Vaquer Tiffany match. Um, I'm looking forward to that. I'm still just not happy with how the whole John Cena thing was handled. Having him get destroyed by Brock and then not coming out to address that and then just immediately going into a match with AJ Styles doesn't make any sort of sense to me whatsoever. I would have rather them come out and said, "Hey, John's coming back for a retirement tour. He's wrestling these dates. We're going to specially select opponents for him and basically say there's no storyline. You're just going to see John Cena's best matches of his career back to back to back to back, and that's it. But you tried to push a storyline, it fell on its face. You then tried to push a redemption arc. It was working just to get completely and utterly derailed by getting annihilated by Brock for no reason whatsoever. Unless you're going to make Brock his final opponent and John Cena goes out with a win, I don't see what the point is. And we've already talked about that they've said it's going to be Gunther. I don't see how John Cena is going to win that match. So, what was the point of Brock coming out to destroy him? Like, it didn't do anything, especially on the guy's retirement tour. Like, the only thing you could have done worse was make that his final match where he just goes out without like any effort whatsoever.
I kind of think that was more for Brock than more for John. No,
Brock doesn't need that. It's just like when they gave Brock the win over The Undertaker. It didn't do anything.
no, 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 no. I 100% agree with you, but I think like you know Brock is going to be part of a storyline that we're going to address the rumors that That's that came out. This match was 30 minutes, and I, when you get the opportunity, I want you to watch the highlights because your boy John Cena did a move that I didn't think he would ever do. He did the Undertaker Tombstone Power Driver.
I mean, he's been thrown in a move on every match from like all of his big feuds and stuff. Not that he had a real big feud with the Undertaker, but probably just a respect thing.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, like the AJ Styles and John Cena match, that's the one of those type of matches where that would it would just have you on the edge of your seats. It would have you eating palm of your hands. These two guys always put on an instant classic. And yes, what you said, if I was going to do the John Cena tour, retirement tour, if I had to do it all over again, I would not put John Cena no storyline. I would have John Cena just wrestle the best of the best in the WWE. And if I decided to do a storyline, 100% it would be with AJ Styles.
I mean, you do one. You'd have to kind of do three little ones. The only part that they've actually gotten right out of this whole thing was the R-Truth thing and getting like a Ron Cena match. Like that was the only part that kind of actually worked. And it kind of didn't work at the same time because that was the heel John Cena. You
Mm-hmm.
could have done face John Cena and R-Truth just wanting to wrestle his childhood hero, and R-Truth comes out as Ron Cena. That whole thing would have been just as good. Probably would have been more appreciated because then it's face John Cena versus R-Truth
Yeah,
instead of heel John Cena.
I didn't mind John Cena wrestling some of his top. I didn't mind him watch. I didn't mind watching him see him fight CM Punk, his top rival. I didn't mind seeing him wrestling and Randy Orton, his top rival. I didn't mind him watching. Didn't mind him wrestling Cody Rhodes, a guy that Cody looked up to, big fan of his role model. I didn't mind that at all. But like you and most of the fans, I just didn't like how the story was being told. And I said it once, in my personal opinion, if you was gonna get John Cena the title, which I'm not complaining about, I would have him lose to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
Either
we've
at
talked about that.
either at SummerSlam, in which I was advocate for because I didn't want to see Cody win it because it'll take away from the John Cena story. And I know I understand that Cody need to get his get back. I'll probably have Cody get his rematch the very last match of John Cena's career. Because to me, that's true. You passing the torch. You the
At this
champion
point,
now. This is my last match. You the man. Or I would have John Cena carry the title up to the. I have him carry it. I have him keep the title. Don't lose. And when he retired, we walk away. You start anew. Because it goes against what he said. I'm going to retire as champion.
yeah, like that whole thing completely went down the drain. Like
Yeah.
and again, that is the colossal. If it's me, Triple H, you were the guy that oversaw all of this. You let all of this happen.
The
And I
the
guarantee if Vince was still there, none of that shit would have played out that way.
Oh no, because we already know how much Vince McMahon loves John Cena. When the guy comes out, he say he's the last real world champion, and he fight some of his top rivals: Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, CM Punk. I don't have a problem with those four. My problem it's just the way they told that story. That's one. Two, you either let John carry the title all the way up till he retires, then you start fresh, or two, you have him carry the title up to this last match and you have him drop it.
So there's a ton of different ways they could have done that. I have a way that they could have paid off R-Truth. Because now that they got R-Truth back on contract, what are they doing with him?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
You just brought him
And
back. You just brought him back because the fans want him back.
yeah, and you've done nothing with him. Once John Cena's off TV, what are they going to do with him?
Nothing.
Nothing. Your whole value was being Ron Cena for that short period of time.
Hmm.
But anyway, it's a whole way you could have paid it off with our truth and his 20 plus years in your company getting a small title run because the dude deserves it. You could have had, if you wanted, Cena's final match as champion, losing to our truth. It would kind of be a full circle moment that kind of wraps everything up. Truth gets his small title run. Maybe it's a month. Maybe it's just to the next PLE, whatever. He'd at least have time with the belt. He deserves it. He's been there forever. And
52 days.
he's had to shovel a lot of crap. I mean, he's won the 24/7 title 2,000 times. That's not a
Tag team
record you want to
champion
have.
with The Miz.
Nobody wants to be anything with the Miz. Nobody
But
does.
never had a singles run with a title.
Exactly. And the dude can go. And even at 53, 54, whatever he is now, looks incredible, can still go in the ring. He deserves it. But I mean that's just one way you could have spun it. I personally would have just done the whole, hey, I'm back. I'm here to wrestle the best. Obviously, you pepper in some of the old opponents like the Ortons, the CM Punks, the Lesners, things like that, like you did. You got to throw in some of the new talent so that he's putting them over, things like that. We haven't seen a whole lot of that. Apparently,
Nah.
it's going to happen with Gunther, and there would be no reason for John Cena to win that match. So,
But
my
Gunther,
biggest issue,
Gunther don't need to be put over. The last guy,
that's my
the,
point.
right? So don't get me wrong. We seen John Cena put over Solo. We seen him put over Austin Theory because those guys at that time they needed it for their character. They need to go over. You should have just gave John Cena the five guys we named, which we had no problem with. But like you said, mix in some of the younger talent that needs to get put over, or put it with a talent where they're struggling and they need this get over so they get back to being in good grace.
The problem, though, was if that match with Brock was just a one off, why was that not a competitive match? Why did you let him get destroyed in that manner to then immediately go off TV until he shows up in a match with AJ Styles where he apparently wrestles an amazing match? Like, what service did that do to help anything? We all know
I,
Brock's a monster. That's his whole thing, is that he's a monster that's supposed to be almost unbeatable. On the records, Cena's only beat him once in singles competition, I think, once or twice. Like, Lesnar has the majority of wins.
yeah,
So for Lesnar to win, I have no problem with Lesnar winning. I love Brock Lesnar. But at least make it competitive. Make it to where Cena had a chance to win. Besides his little flurry of AAs that he did, that was a completely one-sided match. It wasn't as bad as the one time that Brock truly crushed him, but it was the second worst. And then he goes completely off TV, no SmackDown, no Raws, no nothing, and then he's just immediately in a match with AJ.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
A match that he actually lobbied for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I remember that first match he had with Brock, when Brock suplex city him all
Mm-hmm.
through the damn arena, and I remember Brock talked about that, and he said, he just ran this crazy idea about John, and John's like, okay, let's do that, and Brock was actually shocked that John Cena went through with it, wanted to do that, but I get it from a character standpoint. You're the beast, you're a monster. You got to make you look like one. So like I can't come out here and beat you if you just badass. If you just beat some and this monster, it don't look right. It won't feel right. If I beat you, then you're what?
I mean, if you have him get destroyed like he did, what's he do? He comes out on the very next show and, guys, I tried to give it my best. I just don't have it anymore. Like, no, that's not true to the character whatsoever. You have him have a competitive match. He has a couple almost wins. Ultimately loses clean to Brock because Brock's a beast. Comes out the next night. Guys, I gave it my best. Brock was just better, but I'm still going to finish this out strong. And then boom, AJ's music hits. They do a little thing. I want one last crack at you before you're gone. Done. That's all you need. But you got none of that. It's just, oh yeah, you're going to wrestle AJ Styles and nobody's heard from you since you got basically mutilated in the ring.
Yeah, and now we won't see John for a while because I don't think we won't see John
There's
until
only four
December.
dates left. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's only four appearances.
yeah. So I don't know when his next appearance is. I just don't like to just space out. This whole
Hmm.
thing is all just
Well,
spaced
his
out.
last month, the Saturday Night Main Event, isn't it like December 13th or something?
Yes.
So he's got to have probably a pretty active November, and that's
Yeah.
going to be about it.
Yeah. I just don't like to space out.
I
Um,
don't either.
and another match that got rave reviews is your side chick Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Bakir. Um, let me pull this match up because they were talking about it, and to our fans out there, look, Jamie didn't see it, so I've been watching the highlights, and I don't want to say, "Hey, Jamie, what do you think of this match?" We're gonna talk about this again. I just want him to watch it, but
I'm the
we
one
just
fully
going
invested in the
over.
show. I'm not watching other things while we're doing the show.
Yeah,
Just put that out there.
he's not. Me, on the other hand, I was watching the highlights, and they gave this match a B, and Stephanie did beat Tiffany. Uh, the one thing they say about this match is that the way Triple H came out to present her with the belt in the ring for winning. I guess it was different from any other time he presented anyone winning that crown jewel title in the ring. You can tell that they are really, really into Stephanie, and you can tell that she's really gonna get a push. And just kind of like you said, they're putting all their eggs in one basket with Stephanie, and
It's not
they
a good
trying to make
idea.
Stephanie. You know how the one thing we always complain about is, please, if you're gonna push someone, don't stuff it down our throats. And it's kind of looked like they're gonna do that with Stephanie. But the thing with Stephanie is that she has, like you said, she has a huge following. I just don't want the average fan to get tired of her so quick and start booing her.
Well, WWE has a track record of turning people into John Cena. Half the
Yes.
crowd's going to love him, half the crowd's going to hate him. And it's not even a John Cena thing. It was a Steve Austin thing. And even before Austin, it was a Hulk Hogan thing. Hulk Hogan was shoved down people's throats so much that you got sick of seeing him.
Yeah.
And it went from Hogan. There was a long period where you didn't really have it. Shawn Michaels, maybe to a much lesser extent. I would say a much to the point that I wouldn't even really qualify him. I would say it would be all the way until it was Stone Cold. When Stone Cold was basically the entire show was centered around him on Raw every week. And then obviously John Cena, not John Cena's fault when the entire show is built around you because they haven't built up any other stars. But
Then they did that to Roman.
and then Roman, yeah. And it looks like Stephanie's probably going to be the next one.
Well, by the tie, her and Cody by the tie.
I'm definitely on the Cody hate train. I'm
Yeah.
so sick of Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes. Like
And the thing with me with Stephanie is that I love Stephanie. They are. I'm not saying they already doing this in a way
it's going in that direction.
no, not that part. It is going to be not that part I was talking. I'm not trying to hate on Rhea Ripley because I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan. But you can tell they kind of like doing the same thing with Rhea. But the only difference is Rhea don't have the title.
They're getting a little colder on Rhea Ripley now that they've got Stephanie in the
Yeah,
position they do,
yeah,
and that's not good for Rhea
no,
because Rhea doesn't have anything going on right now. And as you can
no,
see in WWE, they will turn on you real quick if they
yeah,
think they have something that can replace you. I mean, Rhea's not going anywhere. She's not going to get released. She's not going to get fired, but they will let you sit in the mid card and do nothing. I mean, look at how long she's basically sat there doing nothing to begin with. It's like they're
yeah,
just letting her hang around in backstage segments, just waiting for Liv Morgan to come back.
yeah. Well, I don't think she's gonna be filming a little more when she come
I
back.
don't either. I'm just saying, it's like
Yeah,
they're just having her sit there for Liv Morgan.
yeah. It's just kind of like with Stephanie right now. She's the new hot toy, and they want to play with this new hot toy. Don't read into that. Play with your new hot toy. Don't read into that. But
Trying to
that's
get us canceled
it's
already.
yeah. It's
I'm
the
the one that
same.
says things like that,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. But still, though, it's their new toy, and when you get a new toy, you're gonna play with it all the time. Just like when you get your PS5 and you want to play your favorite You gonna play W2K26. You gonna play it all the time because you gonna create yourself and you gonna have yourself wrestle against some of the best in the WWE on the video
How do you
game.
make that analogy and not link in Toy Story? The literal movie that it was made about. It's like when you have Woody and then you get Buzz and you stop playing with Woody.
Because I didn't like Toy Story.
We can't do the show no more. Not like Toy Story. Everybody likes Toy Story.
I ain't like Toy Story.
If you said you don't like the second one, the third one, the ninth one, whatever they're on, that's fine. You gotta
How
like
many
Toy
was
Story 1.
made?
I
How
think
many
they're on
was?
4. I think they're making 4 right now.
Oh God.
They're making 4 or 5. I just read that. I read something about Tim Allen talking about doing the voice work or something. But I think they're making 4. I know there's 3 at least. They're either making 4 or 5 right now. But whatever. I digress.
Okay, so when Toy Story came out, I wasn't a big fan. I didn't like it. However, don't shake your head. However, I'm older now. So maybe I will give it another shot. You look at me like you're not finna do it. I will watch Toy Story, the original one, correct?
Yes.
I will watch the original Toy Story. I would give it another chance. You gotta listen. You gotta think about it. Back when it came out, back then, I was not into it. I'm older now. I'm
I was
more.
about to shame chant you.
I'm more mature now. So I will give it another try. I will watch it next week. And if I like it, and if I don't like it, you will know about it.
You're going to have to address it on our
I will
random
address it.
conversation.
I will address it. I will
I want a
address it.
full critique of the movie.
You'll get that in detail. And actually, I will write a report if you want me to.
All right. Yes. I want a full
So
report.
next week, I will be watching Toy Story, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on it. Hopefully, for me, I don't like it.
Okay.
All right, all right, and of course, the last match, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins went over. Seth Rollins has to go over. This match I really didn't have to watch. Seeing the highlights. Let me phrase this, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the matches here on Crown Jewel, you really didn't have to watch it because you kind of know what need to happen to advance the storyline. Cody Rhodes needed to lose. Seth Rollins needed to win. And me and Jamie said it once, two, three, 4 times. If you want to take the serious as a group, 2 things need to happen. Bronson Reed had to beat Roman Reigns no matter what. Even though the Usos got involved and pissed off Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns didn't want their help, and now Roman Reigns and the Usos are not on the same page. They got their issues. But Bronson Reed had to beat Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins had to beat Cody Rhodes because the way Cody Rhodes was taunting Seth Rollins about, yeah, you never beat me, you 0-3 against me, you're not the top champion. He had to win. And plus, it was good for the group. Again, if you want to take this group serious, they had to win. And the thing I like about this win is that Seth did it without his boys, without Paul Heyman, without Bronson Reed, without Braun Breaker. Now, he did hit Cody with the watch, but he's a heel. A heel going to do what they got to do to win. But the simple fact he did it on his own, I'm not mad about it. He needed to do it.
Well, and from the business side of things, if Cody's going to start getting more movie role offers, he's not going to say no to them. You got to kind of cool him off a little bit and build somebody up. And Seth is that guy that he's so over with the fans. You also don't have a real fear of him going to Hollywood. Sure, he'll show up on ESPN and he'll do all that stuff with like the NFL where he's working, doing something like predicting games or some crap. I don't know. He's doing something along those lines. But I don't think there's any Hollywood fear of losing him like you did with Cena or The Rock or anything. So it's better to put your chips on Rollins for the long term than it is Cody. Because Cody's been pretty clear. If he gets the opportunity, he's going. I mean, he's been trying to dabble in it. I watched Arrow last night because, I decided I'm going to rewatch the whole show. What episode am I on? Season 5, episode 3 or whatever. It's the Cody Rhodes episodes. So that's going back to like 2012 or something. So he's been trying to do it for a while. And now he's getting a shot. And if he's going to get more mainline movie roles, you got to prep for a time where Cody's not going to be there for an extended period of time. They got lucky with Street Fighter because Street Fighter is an ensemble type movie. You've got multiple characters, so it's not like one person going to be gone for 3 6 months at a time. Everybody's shooting smaller roles, things like that, so we're only gone a couple weeks. But if he gets into some of these bigger roles where he is the main star or something, he's going to be gone for months at a time. And it was different when like John Cena was doing the Marine or something. Those were WWE produced films. They could control the shooting schedule, things like that. And those weren't super major big blockbusters or anything like that where there was tons of promotion going into them. But if they are going to focus on that stuff, they will lose Cody for long periods of time. And they've got to just look at the business first and kind of cool him off a little bit.
Um, from the business standpoint, when you are the face of the company, which is Cody is now, you're gonna be doing a lot of projects that it's gonna take you away from the ring action. Whether it's movies, TV appearances, promoting the product, promoting the company, that's gonna take you away. As he said, he want that John Cena type schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting it. Is it like a wear tear? Yes, because everyone can forget what John Cena had that type of schedule. The only person that John Cena went home to was John Cena. Cody Rhodes has a family, and he has that type of schedule to take away from his family. Shout out to Cody for having that tour bus that he brings his family along. What I'm trying to say is that when you're doing that much, it takes away from what you. It takes a lot away from you. So hopefully, just schedule on the business side, the schedule that Cody Rhodes is on, the John Cena schedule. Hopefully, it'll start to die down since we're kind of like close to the end of the year. In ring action, this helps out Seth Rollins because it gives him that big win that he needed. Not saying the big win against CM Punk didn't mean anything, it does, but to be the top champion in the company and you pinned him. I mean, you hit a curve stump all the way from the heavens on Cody Rhodes, and you pinned him in middle ring 1, 2, 3. He needed this win. This win was good for him. This win solidified him on equal ground as Cody Rhodes, but this also furthered the storyline of the Vision. Now, rumor has it, and you might like this, for War Games, the then again, I don't think you will like it. So the rumor has it will be the Vision along with Brock Lesnar and your guy Austin Theory, who I'm assuming that he'll be the fourth member, against Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jay Uso, and who was it? Either Jimmy or LA Knight.
That just doesn't even sound like a good match.
No. What got me was that either Jimmy or LA Knight.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. It
I
was
was gonna say
LA Knight.
first you
No, I'm sorry. It is Roman Reigns, Jay Uso, CM Punk, LA Knight, either Jimmy or Jacob Fatu.
no. That and I don't think Brock is at a stage where anything where he's not by himself diminishes the unstoppable monster. I don't see there being any reason for him to be involved in that match whatsoever. Unless they do something with a story where you see Paul Heyman running off like, oh, I got to go call somebody or something because the Vision just got trounced and they need help, where they're calling Brock in to be the guy to save them, and then you're just making the Vision look weak. I don't see a good scenario that would play out to make any of that look good. You'd either be making the Vision look weak, or you'd be making Brock look more like a monster than what he even needs to be. You just had him destroy one of the biggest faces in the history of the company, again for no reason whatsoever. I don't see a situation that would play out to make that believable or just a good story to begin with.
I like the addition of Austin Theory. Let's see if it's true. A part of the division. Because this is about Austin Theory was looked at by Triple H as the future superstar, the
No, that
future
was
man,
Vince.
and Vince too.
Vince is the one that pushed him. When Triple H got control again, is when he got buried.
Well,
He has
remember,
not done well under Triple
remember
H.
in NXT, Austin Theory was a Triple H guy. Now he probably
Was
felt
then.
that. Now he probably felt that Austin Theory wasn't ready, and that's why I kind of felt like, why would you get him Money in the Bank, Vince? Why would you put in these big time matches, Vince? When you know that he wasn't ready. When Triple H got there, immediately we gotta get the Money in the Bank off of him because there's no way in the world if you make sense he's not going to beat Roman Reigns. But then when you drop the ball that you haven't cashed in on the United States Championship or it's an IC, I don't know, it's one of them.
It was the United States.
Yeah, you haven't trying to cash in on that. And whereas you could have had him wrestle for the Money in the Bank briefcase against someone legit that would beat Roman Reigns. I don't know, maybe Brock, maybe Drew, but if Austin Theory is going to be part of the division, I like it because again he getting tools from Paul Heyman and he can learn from Seth Rollins. The other side of that rumor, I'm not a fan though, because how you gonna sit here and say maybe it'll be Jimmy or maybe it'll be Jacob Fatu? What do Jacob Fatu got to do with this whole storyline?
Just throwing people in there for
I
big
mean,
names to draw people into the PLE.
like he's not feuding with Brock Lesnar. Jimmy makes more sense to me than Jacob, but at the same time, you have LA Knight don't get along with CM Punk, doesn't get along with Jey Uso, and hates Roman. CM Punk, not a big fan of Romans. Super kick Jay, cool with Jimmy, doesn't like LA Knight. I mean, what? I mean, it just. Are you gonna say tell me all those guys gonna put their differences aside for one night to take out the Vision?
That's what I'm saying. Is when you first said it, I said it doesn't even sound like a good match.
I
Like
mean,
there's too much stuff going on for that to even try and make sense. Like last year, you pulled it off enough because you had the unity of Paul Heyman there. Well, Paul Heyman's burned that story wise with all of those guys. So, and the Vision hasn't done enough to anybody to warrant that kind of storyline unity to bring those guys together.
right,
So,
right. It just I look at it. The only reason why Punk got involved last year in War Game is because of Paul Heyman and because of favor. Now what's
mhm,
it this year? What's
right.
going to be? What's going to be this year?
That's what I'm saying. Is
It's
it
not going to
doesn't
be no
sound like a good
favor,
match.
right? And then they came out and said Punk and Rollins going to wrestle for the championship later this year, which I already knew because Punk already said he's going to get a title shot later this year. He wants his shot, and this is supposed to be allegedly the final match. So on the women's side of things, though, Jamie, the women's side of this whole thing, you're going to get Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Bianca Belair versus, I'm going to start with the NXT now, Becky Lynch, Lash Legend, NXT,
Yawn.
Um, what was the other
You've
name?
already lost me with Lash Legend. I think she's super overrated.
The Kabuki Warriors.
I mean, I love my Kabuki Warriors, so I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah. I think I mixed it up because if I remember correctly, no, Nia Jax is on the hillside.
I was going to say, when
Yeah.
are they flipping Nia Jax to a
Yeah.
face?
Nia Jax is
But
on the hillside.
okay.
I think the order was, let me pull it up. I think it was Rhea Ripley.
That was the name you didn't say first time,
Yeah.
so that was
Rhea
probably
Ripley,
okay.
Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss.
No, first time you said Tiffany too, and you didn't put
Nah,
Tiffany on
nah,
that
it was
list.
not Tiffany. Nah, Tiffany won't be part of this.
Okay.
And the other side is Lash Legend, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, and the Kabuki Warriors. Now tell me
Again,
what don't make sense.
I mean, there's too many people involved that don't even have any storylines going together.
Oh, so let me
The
break it
whole
down. Let me break that down to you. Nia Jax and Lash Legend had few matches against each other on Raw. Excuse me, on SmackDown and NXT.
hmm
We all know the EO Sky really ripping the Kabuki Warriors.
hmm
I just fucked this whole thing up. What I was about to say. Sorry, y'all. Because now I just not because now I pulled it up again and it's AJ Lee is going to be in it now.
Ugh. Well, I mean, she's shown that she needs protection, so it's better to put her in a match with 9 other people or 8 other people, whatever it is, if they're doing 4 or 5. I mean, I like the old format of Survivor Series where you didn't necessarily have to have a full blown storyline. It was usually a guy versus another guy, and they become the captains, and then they just go recruit people. Or you had like 2 tag teams that were rivaling that would go and fill in the spots. Like that's going back to 80s and 90s. And then you had like you get into 2000s, you'd have like Team Cena versus Team Lesnar or something. But like when they're just trying to put in like these giant integrated stories into it, like no, no. Or put something on the line. Make it like a reason that these two groups are fighting. Because like just having a match with all these people, if it's not like a title's being decided by it, so who cares?
Hmm. All right, so here it is. According to Dave Meltzer and
Oh boy.
Felix Upton of Ringside News, the current lineup for the men's War Game match is expected to be Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jacob Fatu, Jay Uso, and either Jimmy Uso or LA Knight against Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, and Austin Theory. On the women's side, the match is reportedly expected to be AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss against Becky Lynch, Asuka, Kyrie Sane, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend. Um, yeah, so that's could be our war games. And you look so thrilled about it.
That's just my response. It's just I don't care.
Look, man, I get it from the man standpoint. You know, all these guys are battling Seth Rollins in the division. The one thing I don't get
But
is,
nobody is. It's like 2 people.
I mean, Punk, and
Punk
LA
and
Knight.
Roman. Punk and Roman.
Yeah,
That's it. Even
yeah.
LA Knight, he's fighting Jey Uso more than he's fighting anybody else. Like, come
See,
on.
the LA Knight thing is because he pinned Seth Rollins and he won a title shot.
Yeah.
And he's been battling Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker ever since they was on SmackDown. The Jay Uso thing is Jay Uso just won a shot at his title. He wants a rematch because he never got his rematch clause apparently. So, and
And
to
he
your
doesn't deserve
standpoint,
it.
yeah, the only really two people that have been battling division has been Punk and Roman.
Yeah. That's why they need to do something and just make it like the old school Survivor series. Hey, I need help. I'm the captain of this team. I need you guys to come out and just make it simple. Don't try and make all these convoluted little things to make it make sense in there. Keep it simple.
Yeah. I don't know where the Jacob Fatu thing fits in at. Maybe he's just a higher hitman. I don't know. It don't make sense storyline wise, but match wise, I'd love to see him in there because
Well, the problem is if they go a route where they bring in Brock because, oh, we need help, there is no face that is the equivalent of Brock Lesnar.
right,
There isn't.
right. And the one thing that I think a lot of us gotta understand it and gotta remember is that Seth Rollins is not a Brock Lesnar fan. He don't trust Brock because you know Brock is about for Brock. So bro, he knows that anytime Brock can turn on him on anybody. So it's kind of like, you know, does he really trust Paul Heyman with this?
I still say my idea is the best. And I'm not saying it because it's my idea. I just think it's better. You have Paul Heyman realign with Lesnar, and you take Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker with Brock and Heyman. It gives Seth a chance to go back to standing on his own, to be that legitimate face of the company. You can be the face of the company when you're a heel, especially with Cody starting to dip in, dip out. You need that defined face of the company. That would give Seth Rollins the opportunity to do it. Not that I'm his biggest fan, but Seth doesn't need to be in a group. The group needs to be in a group. They don't need Seth. Problem is, it depends on how much is Brock going to be around. Is Brock coming back for an extended run, or is he going to do his, hey, I'm doing 4 dates and then I'm off for another 6 months?
Well, accordingly, he's here for extended run because
I mean,
you
that would
got
be
because
good.
the matches that he was supposed to have, but he didn't have them because he was out due to the situation with you.
Gunther and things like that. Yeah.
So those matches that we thought that we was gonna get 2-3 years ago, we might be getting them now. So he is back for extended run. It's not no 4 match. He's gone for like 5 months.
Yeah, I still say that would be the best because it would give, especially since Cody's made it clear he wants to go after more movies, remove Seth from the group, have Lesnar become that guy. Because again, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed don't wrestle in a style like Seth Rollins. They wrestle in a style similar to Brock. It makes more sense for those guys to be together than it does for Seth. Seth, this would be a good time to put him as he's the number one guy, stands on his own, doesn't need help. That's the one thing that hurts Roman Reigns among all of it is that he defended his title 26 times, and I don't think there was a clean win in any of them besides like the Jey Uso match.
No, 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 no. He defended it 26 times, not enough. That's what hurt. Hey, look, I
I mean,
understand.
not
Yeah,
not enough, 100%, but at the same fact, he never had a clean win.
no, he
Like
hasn't.
even when you were a heel, you got to have some clean wins
Yes,
to show that you're a force. He
yes,
didn't have like any. I think he beat Jey Uso clean, and that was it.
and
But
with
I know
the
he wrestled Kevin Owens multiple times where none of those were clean wins. Like,
and by the way, Kevin Owens should went over
yeah,
and one. He should
Kevin
went
Owens
over.
should have won all of those matches.
Yeah. On the women's side, I look at this. First of all, I think they're just doing this for the women's side because they don't want to leave them out. I would prefer to see AJ versus Becky for the IC title instead of putting them in War Games because to me that's the logical next step. I mean, she pinned Becky at WrestlePalooza, so they should be having a one-on-one match, not have a War Games match. The Nia Jackson Last Legend, you call it a snooze, I'll call it my man. There's not really not enough there to say there that's a feud. It's not enough there.
Mm-mm.
The Io, Rhea, and the Kabuki Warriors, that's a three-way dance, and Rhea's like the fourth wheel. That's that's a family fight, and Rhea just got thrown in it, and I don't know why. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they're not feuding with nobody. I
Oh, what are you
mean,
talking about?
they
They got
have
Sol Ruka and Zarya.
well, yeah, And look, I personally would love to have see that match happen at Perth because Zarya is from Australia, and it would make
Mhm.
more sense to have her wrestling on this card. Those tag team titles should be defended on this card, and we know that they're gonna get a tag team title match. I think next week, or if not next week, pretty soon. But for War Games, really?
I also find it funny they keep adding more titles, but they keep lowering the amount of matches they have on their shows.
Yeah, we're
Like,
gonna we're gonna give you guys a tag team champion, but guess what? Y'all not gonna defend him too much.
yeah, we got women's tag team championship titles. We've got now an intercontinental title and now a U.S. title. We weren't defending all the men's titles to begin with, but now we're going to add more titles. Not that I'm against the women having titles because
No, they
they
deserve it.
needed some. They need some more than just having like the women's championship. But like they don't even defend half the titles that they have.
Mm-mm.
Like there was a time I was actually drawing a blank like a week ago, and I was trying to think of who had the men's tag titles, and I totally forgot about the Wyatt Six
Yeah,
because like they never defend them.
yeah. You remember how they had that pay per view? I think they still have it. It's called the Night of Champions, but
Mhm.
all the championships don't get defended on Night of Champions. It's like why
Mhm.
you have a pay per view called Night of Champions? Now all the titles gonna be defended on Night of Champions.
Again, one of my ideas: bring back WCW, take half the talent, ship them over there. You've got your WCW events, you've got your WWE events. It would open up more opportunity for people to go after titles. You'd have more designated focus and create your own rivalry. Have Heyman run it. I mean, Heyman would be a natural selection because he's already run a promotion before. He knows how to do it. Maybe he doesn't want to do it. Maybe he wants a reduced role to do what he's doing now, whatever. But I would just bring back WCW. Give it its own two shows, similar to, bring back, call it Nitro and Thunder for all I care. I don't care. But take half the roster. It would free up time for people on Raw and SmackDown. It would free up people for Nitro and Thunder. Yeah, it's the same company, but if you operated them as independent companies, the fans don't care. And the only cross promotion was when I talked to you about it before, Night of Champions. That's your one cross promotional thing once a year. And it would kind of be like your crown jewel, where if you want the two champions, the men's heavyweight and the men's WWE Universe, whatever, to wrestle, go for it. But even if titles aren't on the line, just make it that's your one cross promotional event per year, and it would open up a lot more opportunity for people. That's what I would
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Well, nobody thinks like you, Jamie. Maybe you should apply for the WWE job.
I mean, when you start accumulating all these different promotions and you're not doing anything with it, like you bought all the WCW stuff and basically kicked their entire roster to the curb. You got all of their stuff. You don't do anything with it. You took a couple of their wrestlers. And the guys that you actually turned into stars you had before the merger to begin with. The only guy that you inherited that became anything was Booker T.
Eddie Guerrero.
You had Eddie before the merger. You had Benoit, Malenko, and Guerrero before the merger. They were the new radicals. Jericho before the merger. The only one you got was Booker T that did anything long term.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that kind of do make sense.
I
But
mean,
hey,
what
maybe
you
well
say
maybe we
Perry
go
Saturn?
ahead
Oh,
and
Perry Saturn was part of the
yeah.
radicals, and look what happened to him.
And I forgot they did have Raven too, but even before the merger.
Hmm.
Well, maybe we should go ahead and book that flight to Bristol, Connecticut, so you can go ahead and pitch your idea. We will fly
Stanford,
into
Bristol's
Hartford, and
ESPN. Stamford, Connecticut.
they're right next to each
Bristol
other.
is ESPN. I mean, they're close enough. It's Connecticut. It's a small state.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we take a flight to Hartford. We're gonna go to Bristol. Then we're gonna go to Stanford, and go to New York, TKO, and all that. And pitch that idea. All right, guys. That's the show for today. We're gonna let
We
Jamie
went
watch.
long on this one.
Yeah, yeah. Because you have a lot to get off. So we're gonna let Jamie watch Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Guaranteed you on Tuesday. No, actually, not Tuesday. Monday, because your boy got to go out of town. But I will be back Friday, and we're gonna do a show Saturday. So Monday afternoon, we're gonna talk. I guaranteed you, Jamie, gonna want to talk about Crown Jewel, and we're gonna dedicate most of that show to Jamie's Crown Jewel points
Oh
and
boy.
AEW news.
It's true. We did not talk any AEW today.
Yeah, so that means I will be watching Collision tonight.
I got whatchamacallit here fired up and ready to go. So
All right. Oh, and Jamie, I got some news. We have a guest that wants to come on the show next Sunday.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
Who's that?
His name is Damon. Damien. He wants to come on to
Okay.
talk wrestling with us.
Okay.
I
That's
told
fine.
him, he got to be prepared because this is different territory. They all level to this. You can't be coming in with some BS knowledge, man. You can't come in with the bull. You got to come in with the real. You got to know what you're talking about. You can't sell fake and make. You can't have real. If if you got fake diamonds, you gotta make it look real, or nobody ain't gonna buy it.
That's what Mosinite is for.
That's
Gets the
true.
job done.
That's true. So Damien wants to join us on Sunday. So I say, you know what? Sure, why not?
Sure. Why not?
Just just make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Yep. All right, everybody. We'll see you next. We'll see you Monday.
I was gonna say it's 2 days.
Yay! Monday.
Nobody
I
ever
always
does that
don't like
this
Mondays,
Monday.
but doing this podcast on a Monday,
Does make it better.
hell yeah. Oh, definitely. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. I know.
All
I
right,
like
that's enough
Monday.
from us. We're starting to ramble at this point. So
Yes. Peace out, everybody. This has been the Signature Finisher Podcast. We holler at you Monday. Peace and love. Enjoy Crown Jewel.
later.
Later.